Welcome back, my friends, to Jesse's Storytime Spectacular. On a different course today, we are not doing the comedy side. We are doing the Blair Witch. Everything you didn't know about the Blair Witch. So, basically, I'm gonna give a mini little history lesson here, alright? So, yeah, I could go over the whole, like, the town was settled, all that stuff. But I'm gonna just skip a little bit ahead and give you the skinny here. Alright? So, there was this dude, Rustin Parr, up in the history in the 40s or whatever. And he lived in some little cabin up in the woods of Blair, the whole Burkittsville woods, whatever, the Black Hills. Y'all know what I'm saying. I mean, if you've seen the flick, they tell you all about Rustin Parr, and like, he's pretty big. His story is pretty big in Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows, which y'all should have already seen by now if you're watching this channel and you're watching this series. But if not, the skinny short version is basically he lived up in the woods, he disappears for a long, long time. And there's about 7 kids who have just disappeared into the woods throughout the years of him being disappeared and whatnot. Therefore, these children end up dead or missing or considered gone. And then somehow he shows up way, way later and he's all like, they're gone. I did it. I listened to her. And he has, no real idea of what the heck he's talking about, and nobody really has any idea what he's talking about until suddenly they get it and they're like, oh yeah, okay, so he killed all them kids. They basically just put him on trial about it, be like, yeah, you basically just killed these kids, whatever. So then they send some search party up there to be like, all right, where are these kids, right? They gone. They dead. They in his house dead. But then there's a search party that goes back up there to be like, all right, so let me see what else is up there. While, like, they've already delivered the news. They've already hung Rustin Parr, right? They've already threw him to the... They don't care. I cut this dude out, right? So, they think they blame the whole thing and it's all over and whatever. But then the search party that went back out to be like, hey, we gonna go find more and stuff and like figure more investigation stuff out. Yeah, they didn't return. So that shit got creepy. Alright, but that's the really, really, really basic short version for you. Alright, I ain't really delivering you more because you need to be watching these movies and checking this shit out, alright? So if you don't know Blair Witch, the Blair Witch Project, you need to watch it again. Make sure you know the Rustin Parr story. But just because this is everything you didn't know, and you didn't know about the Blair Witch, here is my first bomb drop for you. this whole Rustin Parr series, of which you think you've only heard about maybe in just some, little internet articles and whatever, and I don't know, the movie, I guess, but, boom! Number one, you didn't know existed was they have an entire book about Rustin Parr, including many, many, many things and details. According to this story, you will find much, much more in this book. It is fantastic. It is great. And it is not that hard to find. Blair Witch, The Secret Confession of Rustin Parr. And that, my friends, is my first bomb drop of something you did not know about the Blair Witch. Now, do you want to know more? Do you want to figure out the story, the real full story? Do you want to hear it from his perspective, his interviews, everything? It's all up in this book. Found it on Amazon. It ain't that hard to find. This ain't that tough, but y'all didn't know about it. Y'all just didn't know. All right. So that's my bomb drop for episode one, is that y'all didn't know that Rustin Parr has an entire book about his history because it ties so much more into the Blair Witch fandom. Alright? Now, if you have crossed this video and you have been like, hey, I don't even know what the heck y'all are talking about, then you'll need to go watch the Blair Witch Project, the first movie. Pay attention to some of the first 20 minutes of the film because it gives you a lot of history. And then order this book off Amazon so that you can understand what they're talking about. Because even if you watch Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows, you're going to want to know. Alright? And yeah, y'all probably didn't know about this book. So go get it, figure your shit out, and stop being a lazy fan. Yeah, that's what I said. Alright? Blair Witch, Episode 1, Everything You Didn't Know. Storytime Spectacular. Ow.